Do you think that Kai was engaging in an abundance of caution when he did a live stream to respond to the allegations?
Well, hold on. That's not admissible. That's hearsay. I can't bring Rachel in front of a jury to have her perjure herself or to have her under oath and actually make these statements. That's what hearsay is. Hearsay is not, here we subpoenaed for text and now we've got this evidence in front of us, we're going through that. That's not hearsay at all. What the f are you talking about? Sorry, you're a retard. Sorry, I'm done.
There's a few schizo takes which I'm interested in you take on. So the first thing I want to say, mate, is I watched your initial response to the OTK statement.
But like the Ludwig stuff would be so stupid if you would have tried to plot something like that.
I don't think that Kai is like orchestrating some conspiracy to defend his friend or something like that. I guess there's one thing you said that I wanted to ask about. You mentioned that there could be legal ramifications that come about from giving the name to the person making the allegation.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. I guess that I was kind of skeptical about what legal ramifications could exist as a result of that. So, like, what are there?
So this could be like a scary possibility to me, okay? Let's say she thinks that she saw a certain guy go up to the room, right? And she's not 100% sure, but she thinks. And then she starts looking at Instagram pictures. She kind of remembers the guy at the party, and she's like, this is the guy. I think it's this guy. And then she goes to Kai, and she's like, look at this. I need you to tell me who this guy is. And Kai looks and he's like, oh, this kind of looks like this dude. Yeah, I know who this is. And then he gives a name. Now, let's say that there's no security footage. Let's say that Kai's friend doesn't have an alibi for where it was at that point. She's got her eyewitness testimony, and Kai gave the name to her. And let's say Kai says, yeah, I think I saw him go upstairs. Let's say that he wasn't the one that did, though. I don't know if that's enough testimony to get him into serious trouble even if she's wrong, right?
Okay. I guess my interpretation of the conversation was different than that, because I don't think it was necessarily pinning. Like, there was a point where she asked who went upstairs, but I think the crux of the conversation was just, I believe this is the guy that raped me. What is the name of this person? Yeah. And I just don't see any, like, Kai might think there's legal ramifications, which... Yeah,
but the point is that, like, and this is often the case, like, when talking to cops, why say anything at all? Like, it will never, ever, ever, ever help. It will never help, and it could only do, even if it's theoretical or hypothetical, it could only do damage. So why say anything ever?
But we're not talking about talking to cops, it's talking to the person making the allegation, right?
No. I would consider this basically talking to cops, because once rape and everything gets involved, these are text messages that are going to be in front of a jury at some point. You're basically talking to cops at this point, right? Anything you're saying at this point is going to be like some highly incriminating stuff. I just don't see there being any benefit whatsoever, especially if everything she says is true. If she's already gotten like a rape kit and all of that, like, fuck, whoever it is, you know, they are who they are. It's not like the DNA is going to change. So there's just like no benefit. But like just that off chance that he accidentally gives the name of a friend and it turns out that's not the guy. And now this guy gets hardcore roped into everything because he's like, well, fuck, you know, she's a victim. I should say something. Like.
But that would then fall on the legal system of making mistakes and making errors. The guy just saying, oh, this is the name of the person you're presenting me a photo of. I guess I just don't see there being
I would agree. It could just fall
or legal ramification.
Well, yeah, it could fall in the legal system, but that's why, you know, like people say like don't talk to the cops, because you don't want to leave the chance up at that point to make a big mistake. Like, okay, well, hopefully the legal system catches it and everything's good.
Sure. I guess my issue is that, like, I feel this, like, I agree, like, don't talk to the cops is fine. I think that what's happening with the Kai situation, though, is Kai has made some pretty fundamental mistakes in how he's dealt with this. And then when people point out the mistakes, it's, oh, you know, well, the legal team said this, or there were legal considerations or legal concerns. So even if I was to accept what you're saying in regards to this, there still was no reason for him to do other things in the conversation. Like,
I think that the biggest mistake that he made, if we say there's a mistake, is I think he was pretty poor in his communication with the girl. I could agree with that.
Okay. So, but I think it goes beyond that as well, because there are times in the conversation where he says things which, at the very least, imply that he doesn't know the person at all. And I would argue, even more explicitly, are a statement that I don't know who this person is.
Maybe. It seems like he says that when he's like, oh, I don't know everyone at the party or whatever. Maybe, yeah. Which is dumb. But I mean, like, I just don't consider that. I don't think in the grand scheme of things it matters that much. She already did the rape kit. Like, he doesn't have an obligation to tell her anything. Like, he could just say, like, hey, fuck you, go to the cops, figure your shit out, bye. Like, he has every right to say that. He doesn't have an obligation necessarily to help her do anything at all. But I mean, like, yeah, I think his communication was pretty poor for sure. I don't know if that's like a huge thing in this particular point to me.
Sure. I mean, just to be clear, I'm not saying he should be like, you know, Giga cancelled or anything like that. I think that there's people that have been way too extreme in the way that they spoke about what Kai did. But on the other side of that, there's people that are, you know, contributing to this idea that Kai didn't do anything substantively wrong or you know, acted in a better way than I think he truly did, because I do think he was kind of negligent in how he dealt with this. And you know, there was a rape that happened at his party and he was kind of dismissive, didn't respond to messages in certain times, you know, invoking the legal team to say I couldn't speak, but still continuing to speak to them despite apparently consulting the legal team, saying the legal team said I couldn't speak to anyone, but then speaking to his friend. There are these kind of inconsistencies that now exist in his story, which I think are rooted in him being dishonest in how he spoke to her originally, that are now spiraling out to, you know, more extreme conspiracies. But
yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. Like I said, I think his communication was pretty dog shit for sure.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know then. I don't know what we really disagree on. I think that you're probably over-egging the pudding, I guess, on the police thing. I don't think he needs to be concerned about the police aspect.
I think you absolutely got to be concerned. There's like some random shit that you could say where you have
Let me put it differently. Let me put it differently, right? Okay. I think it's reasonable for him to be concerned. Okay. So I think that part is fine. But him being concerned doesn't demonstrate that there is actually factually like an issue with giving the name, right?
I mean, I think you don't know. These guys are like, when cops are putting shit together, like they can weave together stories that like you wouldn't even believe. Here's like, this is an example, I guess. I don't know. You know, everybody has their own experience. I consider myself a pretty smart person. I think that like I can talk to the cops and I won't get in trouble because I'm smart. I'm too smart for that, right? This is kind of what my thought. So when I was coming back from Germany once, well, this was like 10 years ago, I think. I was flying back from Germany and I got pulled aside for interrogation, and they start talking to me and they just start asking me like a ton of basic questions. Like, oh, like, did you pack your bags? Did anybody else do it? Did you blah, blah, blah? And it's like, oh, no, it's just me, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you saw them the whole time? Yeah, of course. Oh, well, what'd you do this morning? Oh, I woke up. It's like, oh, cool. What'd you do? Blah, blah, blah. I went to this place. Oh, cool. Tell me about it. Okay, yeah, I did some StarCraft stuff. You know, okay, cool. Did you go to the bathroom? Anything before you left? Yeah, of course. I went to the bathroom or whatever. Oh, is it a big bathroom, small bathroom? Oh, I think it's kind of small. But I was like, oh, cool. Did your stuff out in the room or whatever? And it's like, yeah. I put it on the couch. I went to the bathroom. It's like, oh, okay. So you didn't actually see your bags the entire time, like you said you did earlier. And as soon as the interrogator said that, I realized I fucked up so bad. And I got so nervous. And I was like, well, I mean, I saw them most of the time. And on that one question, there was like an hour or two more of like, can I see your phone? Can you tell me exactly? And I didn't even realize like how mind-fucked I got during that conversation. I was like, holy shit. So, and I mean,
wait, who are you talking to? You were talking to some fucking authority figure, some
yeah, but what I'm saying is that like, I just, when it comes to things that might be like admissible as evidence, you have no idea like what random thing you might say. And then all of a sudden it's like a huge thing, right? What if it is the case that this rape trial doesn't have much evidence? Say the rape kit comes back kind of inconclusive, and the only piece of evidence that has is like Kai somehow confirming that like, yeah, that guy is my friend and that's his name and I think that was his room, and like, what if it's some shit like that and that's the only thing that ties that guy to the rape thing? Now if he really did do it, I guess that's good, but if he didn't do it, he's like fucked because of some shit that Kai said, where Kai would have been like, if I would have known that it was this important, I would have got a lawyer before this conversation. That's all I'm saying. That like, it seems improbable, but like there are so many ways that talking to the cops or saying things like that can get you completely f***ed. You don't even realize how.
You keep saying talking to the cops. Okay, can we just make something clear? We're not talking to the cops, are we?
I kind of consider this. Yeah, I think I would. Yeah.
So
like if somebody gets like killed or murdered or some shit, and somebody starts texting me like, hey, what happened Friday night? Like, unless I'm an idiot, anything I say at that point is going to show up in front of a judge, a prosecutor, a jury, a police officer, an investigator. Like, that's going to happen, right? Yeah, I mean, like that's just common sense to me. I could be wrong, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sure. There's a big difference here as well. So I think it's wrong to compare this to talking to the cops on the face of it, but also when you are talking to the cops or like arrested or something like that, you've got like Miranda rights that you read. Yeah. Right. So that affords you a legal protection that isn't afforded and isn't the same as if you're talking to someone in DMs, sure. Right? So that's going to fundamentally impact the difference in how those two situations are affected.
Well, no, I mean, they can still use anything you say to this other person as admissible as evidence, of course. You don't have, like, a random stranger doesn't need to read your Miranda rights before you incriminate yourself. You can absolutely do self-incrimination, just not in front of an investigator.
Sure.
That has a
So, you know,
right?
I would agree with you if we were talking about the fact that Kai had like committed a crime or something like that, or if Kai was being asked, "Do you know who raped me?"
Yeah, but like,
what is being asked for is just identification of a photo.
What if it was, right? What if he identified that person and that person was his friend, and she asks another question and he says like, oh yeah, like that was his room or whatever, and somehow it gets wound up as like cops are like, I think that you sent him to that room and I think you wanted him to rape her. What if it was the case, I don't know this, but what if it was the case that earlier he texted joking to some friends like, oh shit, like I'm gonna send a bad bitch up to your room or whatever and you guys can have fun. Maybe he said that shit as a joke, but now since he said a little bit in the message to that other girl, cops get a subpoena, they check his phone, they see that joke, and now they're spinning that in front of a jury. And it's like, well, hey, he joked about saying this shit earlier. Here he's sending this like, I'm not saying that this will happen. I'm just saying that you never know when it comes time to talking to the cops or being in front of like a jury or investigators, like, holy shit, like stuff can get so crazy so quickly, you know?
I agree that if the situation was different, it would be different. Yes, I agree with that, right? But that we're not talking about that. You're saying that this is like talking to the cops when all that's being asked for is the identity of a person in a photo. So this is what I mean by you're over-egging the pudding by making out like that is the same as talking to the cops about it. Where I think that whilst I agree that he probably thought, oh shit, I need to speak to a lawyer, that's reasonable. I don't think that actually exists legal ramifications for simply saying this is the person in the photo that you're showing me there.
Yeah, it might not. Like, if I'm being honest, like I probably like 98% agree with you. Like, I don't think that he can get any trouble for it. The only thing is, it just goes to what I said earlier. There's absolutely zero benefit to doing so, and in some like outrageous cases it might hurt him, especially if the conversation continues. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like I probably agree, like Nate said, like I doubt him identifying someone in a photo is going to get him in trouble, maybe, but like why risk anything, right? Also, wait, hold on, real quick.
98% agreement. Okay.
Yeah, wait,
sorry,
one sec, real quick. Somebody in my chat said, that's not how third-party evidence works, Destiny. You keep claiming things can be used as evidence when it can't. I don't know what you're talking about. Text messages between two people are absolutely admissible evidence in court. I don't know what you're talking about. Unless it's like hearsay, unless Kai is saying like, oh, my friend said this or whatever, and like that person can't be brought into court for like cross-examination or something like that. Of course, text messages between Kai and the girl are absolutely admissible evidence in court. I don't know why you're saying they can't be. That's absolutely not true. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, 98% is good. I'm happy with that. Okay. What about the 2% though? What do you disagree on, or is it just the fact that there could be something? Because
yeah, it's just the fact that there could be, because you just never know that there could be something, right? Yeah.
An abundance of caution is fine,
especially when it's like, and this guy is like a famous. This guy's earning 7 figures a year on Twitch. He's got all these people working around and everything. Yeah, like an abundance of caution, I think. Like, how many times when all this stupid Twitch shit and everything comes out, have people have been like, God, this guy was so stupidly like overly cautious, right? And that never happens. It's always like, bro, why didn't you shut the fuck up for a day and wait? Or why didn't you wait? Why didn't you send this to cops? Or why didn't you do this? Like, it seems like an abundance of caution, I think, is always a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that Kai was engaging in an abundance of caution when he did a live stream to respond to the allegations?
Do I think that what? Say that one more time.
Do you think when Kai did a live stream about this, that was engaging in an abundance of caution?
No, I thought the live stream was pretty stupid. I think he should have prepared a better statement for that. I think it was dumb.
Okay, this is so this gets to my other point as well. In the discourse, and you know, the legal team, abundance of caution aspect.
Hold on. Oh my God, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm sorry, because it's so rude. I'm sorry. I won't do this again. I'm so sorry. Okay, hold on. Lisa in chat, that is literally hearsay. No, that is not true. Hearsay is when you've got somebody in front of a court and that person is telling you what somebody else said, right? The problem with hearsay is that those statements aren't admissible as evidence because you can't cross-examination the witness that the other person is talking about. So for instance, if I say, oh, I'm in front of a jury and they're saying, well, what happened that night? And I go, oh, well, Rachel said that John beat Jane over the head with a baseball bat. Well, hold on. That's not admissible. That's hearsay. I can't bring Rachel in front of a jury to have her perjure herself or to have her under oath and actually make these statements. That's what hearsay is. Hearsay is not, here we subpoenaed for text and now we've got this evidence in front of us, we're going through that. That's not hearsay at all. What the f are you talking about? Sorry, you're a fucking retard. Sorry, I'm done with that. I'm never responding to that person
again.
That's okay.
Destiny, mate. One tip from one professional streamer to another. Yeah. Ignore chat, okay?
Okay, you're right. It's true. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. So, you know, the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like what's happening with the Kai situation, in some cases, is people are pointing to legal team, abundance of caution. Well, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. That would have been a stupid thing to do when they want to, like, you know, defend an action which people are criticizing.
Sure.
But then also he's doing like crazy shit, which like you can't imagine a legal team would recommend, like doing a live stream about the allegations. So
no, yeah, that's stupid. That was dumb. I don't know why the fuck he did that. It was really dumb. Or actually, let me rephrase. Actually, I don't think doing a live stream and talking about it was dumb. I just think the things he said was kind of dumb. He didn't phrase it well. He should have like carefully prepared a statement. I think doing a live stream was a good idea. He just didn't handle the live stream well because he had to come out and say something, right?
On that note, do you agree that rape is corny?
Yeah, that shit is corny. We don't play with that here.
Okay, sure. So yeah, I mean, that's all I'm highlighting. I think is that there's this element where people are wanting to say, oh, well, you know, he needs to be careful, so he didn't do this. But then there's things he did do which are stupid. So why wasn't he careful then? Like, why didn't he take the presumed advice of the legal team then?
Well, presumably the legal team said he was clear to stream and say something. Like, I think he needed to stream and say something. I don't think he can like stay quiet on that, right?
Do I need to get Schizo to bring the heat up here? I'm wondering if I can bring a bit of Schizo in.
Yeah, no, I can. Wait, what does that mean?
No, just, you know, can I? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to add a little bit of conspiratorial element.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were like, I'm going to drag Lavin or something. Jesus. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, what?
I didn't know what you meant by that.
Not on good terms
Jesus.
anymore, mate.
Okay, gotcha.
He was not happy with some of the thumbnails, so it's
okay. Sorry. Go ahead
on that.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Go Schizo. Yeah.
So I find it really hard to do it. Okay, but I'm going to try. So, the legal team says you can't talk about this at all, right?
Yeah.
I think that there's a timeline that we see in front of us where it's like the day after, or like within 24 hours of her coming out publicly, the legal team like happens to clear him to talk about it. Now, it could be the legal team is saying like, okay, you need to respond to this, it's gone public or whatever, like a PR thing, maybe something like that. But I'm just wondering again if the legal team is perhaps being used to fill in gaps in the story and pointed to as like an excuse for like, you know, things which deserve more scrutiny or something along those lines.
Oh, sure. So here's like a scenario we could spin, right? It could be the case. So this is something that is entirely possible. Kai's friend, that girl, he knows he that girl. She messages him and she's like, yo, what's up? And then he messages his friend. He's like, fuck. Like, she knows it was you. Like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, well, I can't talk to you because of legal. She tries to badger him for a little bit. And then he's like, okay, I'm just not going to say shit. Maybe she'll off. Then she goes public and he's like, then he goes on his stream. He's like, okay, listen, legal team, I couldn't talk about it, so, but now I'm going to talk. But he hasn't actually, there is no legal team. He's just making that shit up, right? 99% of streamers on the internet, when they say, oh, I talked to a lawyer, blah, 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 really what they mean is they talk to a friend. There are no lawyers involved. That's very, very, very rare that anybody actually is like paying a retainer and getting somebody involved in any of this shit, right? That is entirely possible. Everything you just said, that's possible, yeah. I don't have any evidence for that. That's why I tried to qualify this every time I said it. Like, assuming he went to the police, assuming he talked to his legal, assuming everything he's saying is true, then like I think this is a decent action as well. This is responsible. It was good that he did this. But if he's lying about any of that shit, which would be really stupid given how many eyes are on him, but if he is, then yeah, of course he's f***ing up hardcore. Then f*** him, yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem here is, the thing is, I know people don't like the word lies, right? So I'm going to say it how I say it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I think that this fella was panicked and was incompetent and didn't know how to deal with this. So in the course of the conversation originally, he lied, such as, you know, downplaying, in my opinion, how well he knew them. And then as it went forward, he had to tell more lies to cover up the lies he's already told. Like, for example, when he talks about, it's him. Oh, I meant that I know him, which doesn't really add up when you read the full context, right? So that's what I'm getting at, is like he's kind of like panicking and lying and lying and lying and just making more and more mess on top of everything. That's basically it.
Yeah. All of that is 100% possible. I just don't have like, I don't have enough. That's like it's conjecture, right? Like that's possible. Yes. We could read into that. Okay. There's nothing that makes that story impossible, but I don't have any evidence to show that story is actually what happened. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. The way that I see it is because the girl involved in all of this did every single thing 100% correctly.
Yes.
So because there's an investigation, she did a rape kit and everything, that train has left the station, and that shit is going to happen no matter how Kai fucks around at that point. That's another reason why I'm not like as concerned about Kai's actions, because she did everything she needed to do. Now shit is like on the rails. But yeah, so I mean, like if he lied and he fucked around hardcore, potentially like his career is fucked. Because if he's covering for a friend like that and like an investigation reveals that that's actually what's going on, like holy shit, like he's fucked up so fucking hard. Yeah, which is possible, but again, I don't have the evidence to show that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even necessarily think he was. I don't think he thought there's been a rape. My friend did it. I need to cover for her, because that seems a bit excessive based on what we can see.
I mean, but it's plausible, right? Like, fuck, my friend fucked up.
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna say shit. Like, you know, maybe it'll go away. Like, it's possible. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like we've got kind of broad agreement on things. Okay. I'm trying to find things to disagree with everyone for the content's sake.
Yeah,
I've got some more schizo shit to. I've got some more schizo shit to go to, so don't worry about that. Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah, what do you got?
Some Ludwig schizo memes. But this one here. So,
wait.
Do you? Sorry.
Let me ask a quick question. Is this quantum processor? Is this used in anything else, or should I just make this over my energy area?
Mate, get the fuck out of it with that bullshit. I don't give a shit about your fucking autism simulator, mate. Okay.
Well, I'm curious. Should I make it in my energy module, or should I make it centralized?
I don't know, mate. I don't have autism.
Yeah, that's why I asked my chat. Okay, Jesus. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so do you think that Kai downplayed or denied that he knew this person when speaking to Jovi?
I lean like 52% yes. On May, there are readings where I can see him being like, him? Like, it was him? I couldn't believe it. Versus like, him? I don't know him. Like, but I mean, like, I think the one message where he's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out who all was at this party. Like, I don't know. Like, it kind of looks like he's lying about not knowing who it was. So, like, I lean towards he was probably obfuscating that he knew, not only that he knew the guy, that he was a close friend. That's what I lean towards. You
lean towards 52%.
Yeah, I think 52% that he probably a little high. I give it 55% that he I think he knew who the guy was and he was kind of lying about it. He was trying to cover it up. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Right, we are getting into autistic detail now.
Okay.
But it's the only place I can really think to go with this, okay?
Base, okay.
So I don't want to distract you from your important business of building your autism.
No, you're good. Go
so
ahead. You've got my full brain.
I'm going to read this to you and I want you to tell me what you think, okay?
Okay, go ahead, read away.
So she sends a picture of the guy after he doesn't respond to the previous messages, okay? It's a picture of him by the swimming pool, right? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Then he says, it's him, okay? She says, yes, that's the guy. Who is that? There's a pause where like there's no response from Kai. And she says, okay, whatever, Kai, right? He then says, I'm in a meeting currently. I'm trying to find out now. Hold on. That to me is a pretty explicit like response to the question that she's asking, which is
yeah, there's the two readings.
Who is that?
Yeah, I think it seems like the obvious reading is like, oh, I'm trying to find out who this is, which is obviously like because he knows. But then the reading that Kai wants to sell us, which is possible but unlikely, but the reading that Kai wants to sell us is I'm in a meeting right now trying to figure out like everything that's going on and what we're supposed to do, and that's what he meant, right? I think that's the reading he wants to sell. But I mean, like, obviously I think that's a pretty hard sell, right?
If you think that's a hard sell, I think you should move on the 55%.
Okay, I'll move up to 60 if you want.
I was thinking more 80.
I'll go up to 65 for you, okay?
Let's split down the middle, 70. That's reasonable.
65. That's the highest I'm going, okay?
65?
Yeah.
Okay. What about 66%? Come on, 69%. That's the meme number. Come on, your chat will love it.
I'm gonna sit at 65% that he was lying. That's as high as you're getting me, okay?
Oh, come on, it's the meme number. Your chat's gonna love it.
I have to get 4 points as reparations for the Black Legion's comment. So 65 is as high as you're gonna get me, okay?
Okay. I feel well, okay. I was probably at like 90%, so we'll take that. Listen, I don't want to split hairs over that. We'll go with that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, to be honest with you, that probably is the main disagreements. I don't know if you've paid any attention to my coverage or not or anything. I've had a few clips. But other than that, I mean, that's it for the Kai stuff, I guess.
Jesus, what is that? Is there other stuff?
There is, mate.
Okay, what's
We're
up?
entering the schizo arena. Well, there's a few schizo takes, which I'm interested in you take on. So the first thing I want to say, mate, is I watched your initial response to the OTK statement. Okay?
The initial response to the OTK statement. Okay.
I believe it was on the 2nd of January. And you spoke to Cherry about it, I think?
I think so, yeah. This was the one where, wait, are you talking about the scene where they're like, the third party did the investigation, we cleared Mizkif of all the wrongdoing over that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember, yeah.
Okay. I guess that, like, my perception of things was that you kind of just didn't really care and were like, whatever, this is, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I'd seen enough, personally, I feel like to have a decent feel of what was going on. That investigation was never going to sway me unless they released like new details and new information. But for them to privately say some stuff and then not really say anything new, it's like, okay, I feel like I saw plenty to kind of form my own opinion about everything that happened.
Yeah, I feel the same. Absolutely. It's you know, just seemed like no direct evidence is doing a lot of work there, right?
Yeah, because the only direct evidence is going to come from either Maya, Mitch, or Barry completely flipping on Miz and killing him in front of the investigators, right? That's the only possible direct evidence that could happen, which I see as being highly unlikely. So yeah, I didn't really care much about the outcome of that. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. Okay, I'm just gonna lay my cards on the table.
Do it, yeah. Lay some cards on the table. Yeah, what do you got?
Lay some cards down.
Yeah, let's go.
So I feel like, and this is very painful for me to do because I hate the Miz kids. You know, it's very annoying.
That's okay.
But I feel like was it yesterday, I think, when you spoke on stream about it, you were a lot more aggressive in your statements about like OTK and stuff like that. And it seemed like that was kind of more a response to getting pissed off at the people in chat. And then you later clarified and kind of, in a more softly way, presented your opinion on the situation.
Yeah, sure. What do you think I was too aggressive about? Or go for it.
I guess for me, there was just a kind of, you seemed very animated in that situation where you weren't originally speaking about it a few days ago.
Well, I was probably animated because it's irritating because the Miz kids are like, they are constantly like character assassinating me on Reddit. They've been, all of that fan base has been obsessed with every single Reddit post about me ever since the Adriana shit. Like their life mission is now to like downvote or shit up every single thread about me, which is kind of irritating. But then also when the Kai stuff comes up, the Miz kids are also out like, and it sucks too because technically these guys aren't helping Mizkif. Like I know they're his fans and they think like, oh, we're gonna rehabilitate. Like it doesn't help Mizkif. Like Mizkif just wants all this shit to never be talked about again. He knows he looks bad and he knows it's bad and he just wants to move on. But these guys will drag it up every fucking second, every time they get, oh, what about this? This is worse than Mizkif, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, fuck off. Like, and then they're like all over my chat for like the Kai shit too. So yeah, but so I might have been a little upset about it talking about people, but yeah. I mean, to be clear, I don't think like
no, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think Mizkif should be like canceled or anything like that. Like I think what he did was fucking stupid and fucked up. But like I don't necessarily think his career should end or anything. And also I don't want to like I think I even said before getting into like I don't want to like relitigate all of the Mizkif stuff every single time anything comes up because I think that's really lame. And I think his fans are just hurting him by trying to do it every time something comes up. But yeah, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, I get that. I understand. I guess that like this is where it gets a bit more schizo, and I guess I'm just interested in your perspectives on this. I feel like there was obviously a PR move in dropping the statement on New Year's Eve. There's even a clip of Hassan not responding to it because it is on New Year's Eve and he says, I'm trying to have a chill stream or whatever, which I think is the purpose of dropping it then. There's also, this is where it gets really schizo, there's also another angle to this. So I don't know if you saw any of Ludwig's responses to this.
Oh, no, I didn't actually. Oh, I did read a lot of comments on Reddit. Caution! These are just comments I read on Reddit, so these people
Reddit alerts.
These people might be assholes. But I kept reading comments where it's like, oh, this is why Ludwig did this. Oh, no wonder he did that. Now, I don't know what the fuck any of that meant. I don't know if Ludwig came out and like invited Miz to something or said something nice about him. I had no idea. But I was seeing a lot of those types of comments, so I figured he said something about him right before the results dropped. But I don't know what they said about him, yeah.
Let me lay it out, okay? So the day before the OTK statement drops, Ludwig does a video where he clears up some misinformation that he'd said about Andrew Tate. And as part of that video, he also brought up the Mizkif stuff. He watched a clip that he had watched of him a little while ago, responding to Mizkif. And then on top of that, he brought up Trainwreck's tweet and made a very specific point of saying how wrong the Trainwreck's tweet was. Okay. The one that made the allegation against Mizkif, right? And this was the day before the statement came out, right? The day after, I believe, the statement came out, he did another video where he spoke again about it, obviously responding to the statement. He again brought up the Trainwreck's tweet and said the Trainwreck's tweet was really wrong. And then he said, obviously I covered this, I'm paraphrasing, I covered this in the video the other day. That was a coincidence. I didn't know the statement was coming out. And that just seemed like complete bullshit to me, and I cannot believe that Ludwig would not know the statement was coming out, especially bearing in mind he specifically spoke about it in that video.
Damn. There's a lot of stuff that is believable, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have any background info on this. Like, here are some things that I would know. Here are some things that I would confidently assert, okay? Mizkif knew the results before everybody else did. I know that. Other members of OTK, at the very least, like the board members knew before the public. I know that. I don't know that like behind the scenes. No, obviously that's the case. And people knew, like the OTK people at the very least knew when that statement was going to come out, right? That's for sure too. Now, the next question is, so then the question is would Mizkif tell somebody like Ludwig ahead of time so Ludwig could like hedge his bets or something? That's possible, but I don't think I would make that assumption without more information. That's just like, I just wouldn't make that assumption.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, like I say, it's like conjecture, maybe even
because it's a little bit like, does that even help Mizkif that much? That like Ludwig would change his stance on a video before the, like, is it even that big? I don't know. That just seems kind of, I'm not sure.
I think there's crossover of audience somewhere that exists. I think that video got like over 1 million views, and I think that like in terms of like almost massaging the public narrative a bit, because one thing I've noticed since the OTK statement came out, because there's no direct evidence of the cover-up, like people generally don't focus or talk about the cover-up anymore. Like it's almost like, well, that's completely unquestionably didn't happen. Yeah. And everyone's really focused on the return stream. The return stream is fucking stupid.
Yeah, which is weird. People have gotten weird on, or like Mizkif fans are really focused on this idea, which is hilarious. They're focused on this idea that like, oh, the blacklisting did happen. Adriana did get blacklisted, but it's because she groped Seer, and so nobody wanted to be her anymore. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on. So yeah, I noticed it, but the Miz kids have been working overtime. They are constantly in that subreddit, like constantly upvoting, trying to rewrite everything relating to what happened to the Mizkif stuff. Like that, they've done it like full time for a couple months. I don't know if these are real or not, but people are linking me like screenshots of them talking about upvoting and downvoting stuff in the subreddit. I guess you can, because you do this shit, you're gonna investigate these or whatever if you want. But people are linking me screenshots like this where they're in the Mizkif Discord, they're talking about like upvoting and downvoting threads and shit in the subreddit about this stuff. So, but yeah, I don't have time to fight against like fan base over shit that I really don't really care that much about. Like I'm not like super invested in the outcome of like I don't hate Mizkif or anything. I don't hate Adrian or anything. Like I'm just not super invested in this thing. But they're ultra invested. There's like their life mission is like rewriting the narrative on all of the they're on that LSF grind. It's weird. There's like the 4 nations of like LSF. You've got like the Miz kids who were like slighted and now they come out to defend Mizkif and Maya while they wait for their king to return. You've got the like Hassan stans who exist in their corner because Hassan is a big fan base and he's constantly brigading Reddit. So they like do their shit for Hassan, for Pokey, anti-train stuff. You've got the juicers who are like this chaotic neutral presence that can, you know, blow whichever way the wind does, whatever XQ is doing on stream. And then you've got like the Daliban who are my people who come out for me or against me depending on what the current drama is, who kind of like take sides and then determine the outcome depending on who they side with. But yeah, that's like the 4 nations of like LSF that move on there to fight with and argue with each other.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know if this is something you've noted yourself, but I just think that there's this weird focus on that return stream, and I think it was criticized at the time, but I don't know if that was ever a big part of the conversation.
No, it wasn't, but people are trying to make it sound like the only reason people are mad at Mizkif is because the return stream was botched. Which is a nice narrative because that's not really that big of a deal. Like you said, like, well, if you botch a return stream, who cares that much, right? So if that is the only issue, then oh, cool. Well, that's not too big a deal. You just like apologize for it and you move on, you know?
Sure. This is where it gets really schizo, I guess.
Again, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I keep saying that. I don't think it's even that severe, but I'm trying to bring the schizo energy. I think that there's not like a sort of planned thing, but I think that there's definitely this like Twitch aristocracy element where like people are pushing certain narratives in their videos that then get accepted and perpetuated that line up perfectly with the OTK statement. And I think Ludwig's coverage forms a part of that, you know, where it really reinforces the OTK statement, even enforcing it before it comes out, you know, so people are kind of prepped for it. And then everyone goes along, return stream bad, he didn't do anything to cover it up.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's possible. But I apply the same standards here that I do for like my political coverage, basically, or when I'm doing politics, is like, I try not to see conspiracy where more reasonable explanations could explain everything. It might just be like when you've got like a group of friends, they all tend to think kind of like the same thing. So of course they sort of reinforce like a similar opinion. There's nothing nefarious about that. That's just what'll happen. And then also, I mean, like the Ludwig stuff, and I'm saying this cautiously, but like the Ludwig stuff would be so stupid if you were to try to plot something like that. You'd have to be a real Dumbo to be like, yo, I want you to come out ahead of time, reinforce my story. And then also, despite however much I hate Cutie, because I really don't hate Ludwig at all, but despite my feelings about Ludwig or anything, I think he's a decent dude. I don't think he would even do anything like this. I don't think Hassan would do anything like this. Like, hey, like I really need you to do this because it would like help me out a ton. Like it would be good PR. I could see Mizkif asking, maybe, but I don't think Ludwig would do it. I don't think so. Ludwig, from everything I've seen, I don't think I've ever heard of Ludwig being involved in anything like shady or anything that would like cause a questioning of his integrity ever. I don't know if I've ever heard that from him ever. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So, but that's just where I'm at. Like it's all Bayesian. I just think of like, well, what's the chance of this happening? Has it happened before? You know, what is my like modifying evidence that's going to make me think there's a higher or lower chance of it happening? And like, yeah, Ludwig has never been involved in shit like this. I don't think he would go out now for Mizkif, like put his whole reputation on it. Like, yeah, that's just where I'm at. But
yeah, I mean, you know, some of these people obviously far better than me, so yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I guess that I think that whilst there isn't like a cabal or something like that, maybe that's probably a bit too schizo. There's probably just like you said,
they're all friends with each other. Like that's like the big thing, right? They're just all like friends with each other.
And it's like, hey, look, because I think I'm fairly certain that Ludwig knew. It's like, oh, hey, the statement's dropping tomorrow. Here you go. Maybe there's an element there of him thinking, oh, I better get ahead of this a little bit, like on a personal level, nothing instructed, possibly something like that.
Would he do that though? Like Ludwig is a smart dude. Would Ludwig really try to quote unquote get ahead of it? It just seems so stupid because it would look so bad. Like even if he hasn't done anything, like people are saying like, wow, that's why he posted it. Like people are already accusing Ludwig of shady shit, even if he hasn't done anything, right? So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I just to be clear, I don't want it to seem like I'm saying Ludwig is doing like shady shit. I don't think.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what you're saying, right?
Am I?
Yeah, you're saying that Ludwig is basically collaborating with Mizkif to do like repairing of his public persona, like in a underhanded way before like the other datas come out, right?
Yeah, I think that maybe you know, there's an intentionality suggested there that I don't even necessarily say that like they're meeting and plotting. I don't know if it's like a meeting and plotting situation. I think it's more so of, hey, here's the statement. I guess the question I'll ask, do you think that Ludwig knew the statement was going to come out in making the first video before the statement dropped?
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know if him and Mizkif are that close. I don't know. Like, I know that they're friendly, for sure. But I don't know if they're like on terms where like Miz is messaging him every day, like giving him updates on all of his shit. And Miz is like, yeah, bro, like this is coming out tomorrow. Like I need you to like, maybe they are, but I don't know.
No, wait, but hang on. I think there's like more conspiracy baked in there that I don't want to say there's a conspiracy in that nature, but it could simply be, hey, just a heads up. This is the statement that we're going to be dropping about the Mizkif stuff. And because he's like in the higher echelons of like the Twitch aristocracy, got these connections, he's going to be kept in the loop on that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems so stupid for Ludwig to do his video then. That just seems like it'd be really dumb, but...
Yeah, I guess the problem for me is I can't see any other reason. I mean, people are saying, oh, it's framed as like, oh, I'm correcting all the misinformation from the year.
I don't know if this is true or not, but August in chat said that like Ludwig has done videos in the past where he's like updated people and like correcting misinformation that he's done. I don't know if that's true or not, but August posted in chat, so maybe that is something he does.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a complete coincidence that it just so happens that he spoke about the Mizkif stuff again after, I believe, not speaking about it for probably a few months, and then the statement drops like the day after. Could be a pure coincidence, as Ludwig is saying it is. You know, I guess that I just think that whilst there's not a cabal or a plot, it's likely that he did know, and he should probably be upfront about that in talking about it. But
yeah, I mean, if he did know, he probably should be, yeah.
Okay.
Post show.